Welcome in. We are going to deep dive and dissect into divine masculine energy. Where do you feel confused? Where do you feel fear? Where do you feel separation from yourself? The whole point of my channel is to bring you back to yourself and remind you of who you are. We call that spiritual amnesia when we feel disconnected from ourselves. And so this video is specifically for divine masculine energy. Whether you are feminine or masculine, we are pinpointing and targeting divine masculine. The first card I pulled today was Five of Swords. Five of Swords, look at that. And this is one of my favorite guidebooks. It's the Tarot of the Abyss. And the way that he explains, it's woman, but the way that the author interprets each of these cards, I feel like is very masculine pointed. So I really wanted to pull a card and hopefully we can bring you some clarity, focus, get you back into your heart. The divine masculine heart is so big and is always in service to the feminine. And so let's just take a look. Let's dive deep. Five of Swords is a young man playing God with a defenseless, trapped butterfly. He lords a pen over the powerless insect, knowing he could pierce it in a moment. He taunts it with his haughty air and domineering attitude. A sense of superiority is easily distinguished in his features. In his smirk, the nonchalant posture, we don't know exactly what his choice will be. However, it is clear that he is not to be trusted. So if you are a divine masculine sitting in front of me, it's stepping into the foundation and structure of your soul. A man is not a man without his word. And I did pull this in reversed. And so I believe it to be that you are now contemplating and observing what you stand for. What are you trying to deliver? What's your purpose? And masculine desires to have the feminine or the counterpart. And if that counterpart isn't there or the hold on your counterpart isn't strong, you'll do everything that you can to manipulate it into the direction you want it to go. And really, that's kind of what this masculine is doing. And if you are a feminine here and you're seeking guidance through a partnership with a masculine, this is definitely unstable ground. Your masculine is trying to find his way and needs that container to have boundaries, because we can be very creative, flexible, open, but without a container, it's toxic energy. It doesn't have bounds. It has to have bounds. It's like creating a space where you can freely express yourself, but also feel very safe, at peace, and secure. The Five of Swords is a card about ethics and our choices. Are you or is someone else in your life acting in an ethical manner? Of course, we know based on the principle of karma that if you hurt the people around you, your victory will be short-lived and incomplete. Building your happiness on the suffering of others will never spare you from the unflinching judgments of time and reflection. Is your sense of ego and selfishness reflecting the situation? That's a question. I'm going to pull another card to see if it is. awakening. So you, Divine Masculine, are awakening, and you are seeing clearly what steps you want to take to build a foundation and a structure and to have ethics within yourself. You got to have your own rule book, right? You got to have your own framework, the thing that you always operate from. That's why they say, like religious men are very centered, very focused. They know what steps to take based on their ethics. Like I encourage you to find a center, to find a place of devotion, so that your deliverance as a man, as a masculine, is delivered from a sustainable place that is going to create something for past, present, and future, for your family, for your friends, for your community. And all that means is showing up in the next moment, being on time, doing what you say you're going to do, no matter what. If there's chaos around you or there's chaos in your relationships, it's because you are not fully showing up. And the second you decide you do, then it happens. I just had a conversation with my son. He's 26 years old, and he has a bit of a stutter. And sometimes he stutters more than usual. And I always know that when that happens, it's because he's lacking in his own self-integrity and his own center. And so I usually start poking, like, why are you doing that? What's going on? How can we brainstorm? Where is it? And immediately we started to dive deep into it. And he was like, he's a Leo. He's very quiet, but he likes to make people feel good. But it's not his job to make people feel good. So what he was doing was he was overextending himself to connect with the individuals at his work. And I was like, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anybody an overextension. It's not your job to make people feel good. It's your job to stand in your full power. And for the last 2 days, there hasn't been any stuttering. And he said that when he went to work the next day, nobody talked to him. Nobody was trying to poke at him for anything. He was like, any conversations he had were just based on work and targeted energy. And I said, do you see how when you decide and when you commit to a center, the energy follows? It gets into alignment for exactly what you are calling in, or not wanting to put focus on anymore. It rearranges itself. It's like jumping timelines. That's how impactful an intention is. You just have to make the commitment. Building your happiness on the suffering of others. Oh, so the question is your sense of ego and selfishness affecting the situation? So yes, it is. That's the awakening. You're coming to the conclusion that your behavior is influencing the people around you. It's time to take initiative action, to step into full power, taking full accountability. This isn't separation, or I'm not giving you responsibility, but as the main ingredient in a household, usually it is the man. For me, it's been me pretty much my whole adult life. As a single mother of 4 boys, I was always the center of the house. So everything was my fault. I took accountability for every single thing that I did. It didn't matter I don't care what it was. I was like, I did that. Screwed up there. And then I'd shift and correct and adapt. as needed. And because I took responsibility, what did my 4 boys do? They take accountability for every single thing they do, even whatever anybody else does in their experience. They don't take accountability for other people's accountability. They have healthy discernment, understanding where to take accountability when they need to. Because when you take accountability, you're not giving your power away. And as a single mom, I wasn't going to give my power to them. If I made them accountable, then I put them in a leadership position over me, right? I didn't want to do that. I wanted to raise sovereign individuals. If I took accountability for my influence, then they also did. Winning at all cost is not winning at all, as it leaves the playing field scattered with dashed hopes and dreams. Perhaps you should take a different approach to your current circumstance. Being a one-eyed king in the land of the blind does not make you righteous or truly powerful. If you are not the one who is acting in such a manner, sometimes this card can come up when you need to put yourself first. In cases where being mistreated, it's crucial to remove yourself from the abusive situation. Is there someone working against your best interests? Again, this is vital energy. The masculine here is awakening. And I can say for those of you who don't know me, my name is Bobby. I'm a Reiki practitioner, twin flame facilitator, and psychic medium. I've worked with couples for almost 10 years. And the one thing that I noticed is the feminine often emasculates the masculine. But that's kind of the process of getting the masculine to step up to the plate, if you might. Because the feminine is only going to keep doing that as long as the masculine stands without a center. The masculine has to stand with a center of devotion to their purpose. And if you're walking around without a purpose, the best purpose I can give you as a masculine is loving kindness, gentleness, execution, perseverance. Show up. Be a man of your word. Being a man of your word, I would say, is the first step here. That would be the first step. I'm gonna go ahead and look at this awakening because that's a pretty big deal. The woman rises as a phoenix from the ashes, having completed her arduous journey of metamorphosis and growth. Her outgrown former self lying empty beneath her. So let's re-angle this for just a minute. Not only is the masculine coming into awakening, but if you are a masculine connected to a feminine, she's awakening. A lot of times women step into maturation just a little bit quicker or a little earlier than the masculine. And with a healthy connection, the masculine will follow the feminine in that awakening. But it's usually the feminine that activates first. And she starts yearning for that solid masculine to come forward. And one or two things happen. The masculine didn't sign up for this and is out the door, or creates conflict to sabotage her awakening because he's not ready. So a lot of times this happens unconsciously. So if you're here right now, cool. You've got the understanding that if you are the masculine, watch what steps you take. And I don't know, I was watching Yellowstone last week, and one of the two characters, Rip and Beth, the way that Rip connects with Beth blows my mind. This is a woman character, a feminine character that is just so big, so ambiguous, so expressive. She doesn't hold anything back. And when she confronts him with impact, He handles her in ways I'm like, that's why their characters are connected, is because he knows how to handle her. He knows not to feed into that ambiguous. He brings her back to center. He calms her. He does something for her nobody else does. It's beautiful. Take a look at Yellowstone. So she bears no more guilt or burdens. She is risen victorious to a new phase of life. The woman is still exhausted from having completed her journey of change and growth. She embraces a new self, exploring her wings in freedom and liberation. She is poised, gathering her strength for whatever challenges and opportunities lie ahead. The awakening card, formally judgment, invites you to take note of your life objectively, to step back and consider how much you've grown and learned. Again, if this is a masculine, this may be your inner feminine that is awakening. And so acknowledging that. You may be getting to the point where you've outgrown certain relationships or jobs in certain chapters of your life, maybe drawing to a close. Perhaps you are reluctant to complete the final metamorphosis. No doubt, comfort and stability can be appealing. However, sometimes life has other plans for us when we try to cling to the past. You may be reaching an important milestone, and as is often the case, it comes with major decisions or changes. If you've been feeling down or in need for forgiveness, the awakening card will bring solace and reintegration. Be prepared and be as the butterfly. Take your time to regenerate, but get ready to fly and soar. Beautiful. Right? So let's turn confusion into clarity. Simple. Be a man of your word. Harness the masculine energy. And I always say masculine and feminine energy, it doesn't look like what's outside of you. I can't find another feminine in the entire universe that reminds me of my own intimate feminine energy. It doesn't look like anything else. There's no comparison to the way I connect to my feminine energy. It's unspoken connection. It's an unspoken alchemization. And this reading, it just needs to marinate for a little while. We're going to go ahead and look at your mind, body, spirit, or. So right now, I pulled the rejection, so you may be feeling this, but remember, rejection is always redirecting you to another path. You are in survival. This is instinct. Instinct is, first off, the call to action, the creativity, the intuition, the choices, but also survival. So, which we can see that clearly in the cards. You are processing grief right now so that you can step into your full power, which is your passion. This is a very intense, impactful reading. I've been getting so many messages about divine masculine energy, and them, this is masculine is ready to rise to the task, to do the thing that they've always wanted to do. But you can only just take one step at a time. There's no other option. If you want to be an astronaut, you can't just do that the next day. There's a process. There's a process to get there. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and end here with an affirmation. Oh my gosh. One step at a time. I see the mountain ahead and dedicate myself to taking one small step at a time. I make progress by staying focused on the present moment, the current task. Thus, I regain my ease of living. Well, holy hell yes. That's amazing. I feel called to pull a surrender card. Surrender to success, divine masculine. Again, doesn't matter if you're a feminine or a masculine. If you are connected to a masculine, this could be you, or this could be your intimate masculine. This is what's going on with your masculine energy, regardless of whether you are expressed through male or female. Again, this is an impactful reading. Lots of water. Rest is required in this alchemization process. You're in the sacred fires. This is what it looks like. If this video resonated with you, like, share, subscribe, and follow. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. This is an honor to be here.